What's up, folks? Today I'm going to show you a stretching routine that's going to help you to be able to be better at skateboarding and warm up better and avoid injury. So there's 5 or so stretches for the lower section of your body and 5 or so stretches in calisthenics you can do for the upper body. And then kind of like a slight warm-up routine that you can use before you start skating. So let's get into it. I'll back up a little bit here. So first thing you do usually is just sort of like loosen up a little bit, kind of like turn around, and I usually kind of like to pop my back a little bit. I take my hand and I pull back with both hands, and I'll feel a pop in my spine, and that really loosens up the spine a lot. I'll just kind of do some spine calisthenics, do some arm stuff like this. It's really nice, loosen it up, maybe like stretch out the arms and stuff like that, just kind of get the upper body loose. Do some spine extension stuff. Move your arms around, get them warmed up a little bit because you're going to be stretching the lower body in a second, but it's a lot easier to do that if you got the upper body sort of stretched and warmed up first. All right, so once I'm done with that, usually I start with the hamstrings. I like to go with a wide stance first because it's a little bit easier to get down further into, and it stretches kind of the sides of your legs as well. And once I got that done, I'll move the feet in and do like a narrow. Okay, and usually I like to kind of pump back and forth, I don't need to put too much pressure, just a little bit, just get it going, kind of test the edges of my ability to stretch. And then what I like to do is these kind of walks here, where you're walking your knees forward. I'll show you what it looks like from the side. You walk your knees forward like this. And you're really going to feel the stretch in the back here. That's going to help a lot, kind of loosen things up and all that. Sometimes I'll even do like a long leg stretch like this. It kind of stretches out the inner part. So you're stretching the outer, the back, the inner. Depending on where you are, if you're like a crowded skate park, it might be kind of awkward to like bend down in front of a bunch of people. So you might want to find like a wall or something like that. It's up to you how you feel about that. Anyway, so the next thing I do is I want to stretch out more here, so I try to find a wall I can put my hand up against, and then pull back, and then turn at the same time. Usually I'm going to end up putting my arm out like this, and this is also really good for balance as well, kind of helps you get your balance for one leg. If you can balance over one leg, it's going to really help you to be able to do skateboard tricks where you're on one point of contact, like a nose grind or 5-0 or something like that. So, kind of get that balance going like that. And then the next thing is actually in the front here, and you're going to open up that groin a bit, because the groin is one of the most important muscle areas and joints that you're going to want to stretch out, because the joint is used a lot with skateboarding. So let's get that stretched out, push forward, push your hips out forward, and kind of feel that stretch a little bit. All right, and then switch to the other leg. To kind of catch it so it doesn't hurt your back, you kind of lean over, put it up, and then you can kind of pull it the rest of the way. I kind of forgot to preface this video, but I'm 36 years old right now, so I'm getting to that age where you get up in age and you really got to do this like at the beginning of every skate session. And it's even good to stretch at the end of a skate session too, to kind of help with recovery. But you know, if you guys are even in high school or college, it'll help too, and it does help in general to warm you up and to avoid injury. So having a good stretching routine and calisthenics routine before you skate is really important. That's why often you'll see like professional skateboarders, what they do is they go to a skate park to warm up first, and then they'll go skate street. If you go straight to the street spot, your body's not warmed up, you're more likely to get injured, especially if you don't stretch before. So it's really good to go to a skate park for like a half hour and just get like a good stretching in, calisthenics, get some warm up going on, do some tricks, feel good about yourself, land some tricks that day first before you go out skating the streets. And then once you're kind of like feel solid and everything, it'll make the rest of your day way better. Okay, so we've done that. One more thing you can do is to get up against a wall and to put your toes on the wall and lean forward towards the wall, and that's going to stretch your calf muscle. And just hold it for a few seconds. You can do it longer if you want to, but a few seconds is all you really need. All right, cool. So that's good. You're all loosened up and stuff. Next thing I want to do is work on the groin a little bit more, and that I can do that with a lunge. So lunge, you just kind of like stretch your feet really wide apart and lean forward on one knee and just sort of like set it there for a minute, let it stretch out. And then you can kind of turn to the side and really kind of get that stretch going. Stretch your back muscle a little bit, feel it in your back and your shoulder. It's really good too. Okay, and then you can also open it up and you'll feel the stretch in your groin a little bit here. And just push out your groin, feel that stretch, and kind of just go back and forth or whatever until you feel good. Usually you'll find that one side of your body is more flexible than the other. It's pretty common. And you just have to kind of deal with it. And if you find that one side of your body is less flexible than the other, then it's probably a good idea to focus a lot more on stretching out that less flexible side just so that you'll avoid injury, because that's where it's more common to happen, is on that less flexible side. So for me, it's my left side, and my left leg is less flexible than my right. So I really push a little bit harder on my left to get it to stretch out more. I really want to feel the stretch in the top of the thighs, the groin, and kind of almost like a popping feeling in the joint is good too. It means you're opening up the joint, and it feels really good. Okay, the next thing for skateboarders is really good with the groin is to kind of crouch down like this. I like to put my hands together and just push my legs apart, because it's really good to get this balance going on here between the balls of your feet, your hip, your shoulders and head. Because when you're balancing like this is a lot of what you do when you skate. So this kind of helps warm up your body as well with the balance that you'll need to skate. And you get to flex your hips a bit in your groin. So just kind of holding it there. I found that this stretch, almost more than any other stretch besides the hamstring one, helps me to perform better when I skate right away. And if I don't do it, I tend to like not have nearly as much energy when I skate. So this stretch is really good. Really, really good. So I just like to push a little bit there at the end and then kind of use my hands, lift up my body, and do another hamstring stretch as I'm coming out of it. And this, by the time I'm here, I'm usually able to stretch a lot deeper. I can grab my toes, I can touch the floor. You don't need to keep your legs straight, but it's good to like do that. Or just like kind of feel where the stretch is at its maximum and test that edge a little bit, pump into it. Keep it light, don't have to stress too hard about it. All right, cool. So now for a little bit of warm-ups, I guess we could do a little bit more of the upper body again. We did some stretching earlier. You can put your arm across like this and stretch your back muscles a little bit, because your back is your core, you know, your lower back especially. So you want to really get used to stretching your back and your torso muscles as much as possible. It's going to help you a lot with your skateboarding. Sometimes they even do these right here. This is a really good one for getting ready for doing like 180s and 360s and stuff like that. So your back isn't so, or your spine isn't so like abruptly interrupted. Just avoids injury pretty much and warms you up better. But doing this a lot is really good too. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is some jumping. So if you have like a jump rope, this is a great thing to do, or you can just jump like you would with a jump rope. So just doing hops like this. Usually I'll count to like 10, 20, maybe up to 50 or something like that. It starts to warm up your ankles and your legs. And then what I do is do like 1 foot at a time. So you're putting more weight onto one specific foot and kind of adjusting your balance to that particular foot. It's a lot of what you're going to be doing in skateboarding, so it's going to help a lot. And then just like back and forth, kind of like you would if you're boxing. Like if I'm boxing, switching stances, that kind of thing. Okay, or, you know, slowly, it's fine too. So it's up to you, but just getting your body to kind of open up and loosen up and warm up. And then what I like to do is these squat hops. So you go low and then you go high. That's gonna really heat up the thighs and kind of transitioning between the two. So you're gonna do like small hops, bigger hops, small hops, foot to foot, bigger hops, squat hops. Okay, And once that's done, I usually go back and do one more stretch. And that is to pull my leg up. Because actually stretching is a way more efficient when you've already warmed up the body slightly. But the hamstring stretch is kind of even good when you haven't warmed up yet. So by doing this and pulling your knee into your chest as much as you can, kind of open up the groin a bit more. And that's going to help as well. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. If you have jump rope, you can use that more. You can do jumping jacks, warm up your arms. If you have like a trampoline, you can use that. But that's it, and then go skate, have fun. Hope this helps. Subscribe to the channel for more good skateboard content to help you with your skateboarding. See you guys out there.